Hello everyone. My topic is on standardized testing. I'm sure that all of you have heard of or have taken standardized testing in some way, maybe through the high school career. I claim that the educational system in the United States, relying strictly on standardized testing, has a negative effect on American students. Now I'm going to key in on three main points. One of them is that many teachers are oftentimes forced to disregard emerging student issues or student needs in order to prepare them for the test. Another, that the way that standardized testing in America is used to evaluate the students' schooling is ineffective. And lastly, that standardized tests such as high school exit exams are associated with lower graduation rates and higher dropout rates. With this being said, I'm going to define standardized testing. Berlaskin, author of School Reform, defines it as any test that is administered, scored, and interpreted in a standard predetermined manner. My first point is that many teachers are oftentimes forced to disregard emerging students' issues or student needs in order to prepare them for the test. With this being said, I will address on the No Child Left Behind Act. Under this act, students are expected to be at a proficient level and expected to meet an adequate yearly progress. And if they fail to do so, the school gets higher sanctions. So many times teachers are pretty much pressured to tighten up their curriculum in order to meet the needs of students to get higher scores so that they won't get higher sanctions. For example, Alfie Khan, the author of What Does It Mean to Be Well-Educated, described it as sacrificing learning for higher scores. He said that community service, character education, democratic class meaning, and other programs to help children become good people, as well as good leaders have become sharply reduced. For example, one primary grade teacher in Milwaukee told the city school board in June 2001 that frequent testing other students means that they can no longer contribute to Thanksgiving dinners for the homeless or prepare games for cancer patients at a children's hospital. Going on to my second point is that the way this standardized testing in America is used to evaluate students' schooling is ineffective. It's based on factors other than schooling. Factors other than schooling may affect students' achievement. For example, I'm going to key in more on the socioeconomic status of students, such as English language learners. A study by Kate Lincoln, author of English Learners Left Behind, compares English language learners to overall passing rates of English and Math A regions in the city of New York. The study conducted is pretty much elaborate on the English and Math A regions. They are New York with New York statewide exams that students must pass to graduate. To give you an overview of the study, it says that in 2002, the overall passing rate of students was 74.2%, and the overall passing rate of English language learners was 17.4%. And if you go to 2005, the overall passing rate was 77.9%, and the overall passing rate of English language learners was 33.2%. This is saying that English language learners' traditional poor performance plus their the test attainment to the high school diploma equals to a great impact for the English language learners, that they are unable to reach for a higher education. Furthermore, many students do take it over and over again. The students are referred to as the English language learners. They take the test over and over again in order to reach the higher scores so that they could actually go to college. For example, a student from Bangladesh commented that the English region exams are the hardest for all of us, and by us she means the English language learners. Talking about the high school diploma, I go on to my third and last claim that standardized tests such as the high school exit exam are associated with lower graduation rates and higher dropout rates. I emphasize such here because there are other exams, statewide exams, that require students from 4th grade to pass the standardized test to go on to the 5th grade. For example, David Hagen, author of Education, states that in Louisiana alone, between 10 and 15% of 4th and 8th graders were retained in the year 2000 because of failure to pass a statewide test. And in Florida, in spring 2003, more than 43,000 third graders, which accounts for 25% of the total for that grade, were retained due to insufficient test scores. Hagen furthermore indicates that because of the correlation between retention and dropout, retention means that they're retained from graduating, retention and dropout, motivation to learn and the desire to finish school has lessened. And a study conducted in 2005 by researchers Cheryl, Nicole, Jean Glass, and David Barliner found that the pressure of such tests with high stakes, like not being able to pass the graduation exam, for example, is negatively associated with the likelihood that 8th and 9th graders will eventually not be able to reach or complete the 12th grade. And adding to that, Berlasky states that there is extensive research that demonstrates that students who are held back progress more slowly, suffer significant loss of self-esteem, and are far more or less likely to not graduate. Now again, I think that the educational system in the United States relying strictly on standardized testing has a negative effect on American students because it diminishes pretty much their drive to get a higher education or their motivation. And it's also unfair for minority students because they lack such some skills that other privileged students have. Thank you.